And one fish, two fish. And one fish, two fish. One fish,
And
two
redfish,
fish.
bluefish.
One fish,
And
two
redfish,
fish.
bluefish.
One fish,
And
two
redfish, bluefish. Hey,
fish.
Willie, how you doing? Yo, Art in the house. Here, let's see if we can get that echoing over on YouTube. Yo, Art in the house. There we go. Here, let's see if we can get that echoing over on YouTube. All right, YouTube is good. Twitch is good. Um, I'm gonna. I'm running out of ideas, so actually, I had kind of an idea. Yo, Leo, welcome in. I'm thinking I'm going to try maybe a summer 70s outfit. So that's right, Leo. Oh, I got to do some shout outs. Charles isn't here tonight. Charles has got to work tomorrow, so he's calling in an early. And the thing is, when Charles has to work, he has to be up at like 3 in the morning to get into the office and start making the dough. And Charles literally makes the dough. So there's that. Hey, we got a Willy command. A wet Willy. There we go. There's a there's that Wilhelm scream, and our good friend Art is in the house. Oops, I didn't do that right. Let's try this again. By the way, Leo, if you got any links and things you want to share, feel free to post them in the chat. And who knows, maybe someday I'll remember to make you a command. No guarantees, though. It takes a little while. So I'm going to start off by making kind of flare bottomed jeans. Classic saddleback jeans is what I'm thinking of. So we're going to do that with Marvelous Designer. Also, over in Jay's Discord, I had somebody was asking about loading morphs into Daz. If they show up, I'm going to walk through that. If they don't show up, we're just going to work on jeans. And then I have to kind of figure out a top. I saw a top I liked, and then I realized it was kind of close to something I think Loki was working on. So I have to find another top. So I'm thinking I'm going to make jeans. We're going to do a top of some sort. I haven't quite settled on that yet. And we're going to do kind of wedgy sandal things, I think. We'll do a little research on that. You'd like to reserve the MGM Lion. This is Sparta when it happens. There you go. Did you drop any links in chat? Do you have links that you want to share and don't feel like you have to? But if you do, we can roll up a little command for you, and then someday I might actually add the sounder to it too. And what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm going to load up Marv. Actually, we're going to do a little research. That's right. 1970s saddleback jeans. Something like this. I think will do the trick. Let's open you up in a new tab. Let's see if we can find a picture of the front. There's a picture of the front. Open that up in a new tab. So that is the front. That is the back. I think I'm going to kind of start with the standard pant pattern. Look at how wide those belt loops are. What is that on the front? I saw one that was a snap, so I'm going to make a snap. Actually, that's kind of a cool little detail. Although that would be a pain in the ass to rig and daz. I'm not crazy about these pockets. Let's see what else we. Are those dittos though? It would be nice if it could act. You remember Ditto jeans? I think they were sold to. I was reading up on the history of that. Started in 1970, was sold to Jordache in 1980. Jordache actually was like a company that only started in like 78. I gotta say, I'm finding those pockets a little weird. This is kind of giving me an idea of the direction to go, but let me see if I can find. I don't want high-waisted bootcut jeans. No. We want bottom flared, and that's Shein. Freaking Shein. That's not totally not what I'm looking for. You know, what do we say 70s ditto saddleback jeans? Let's close up saddleback. I'm Googling over on side two just in case. What do we got here? Jeans saddleback ditto pants from the 80s. You know, the 80s is kind of close. Vintage saddleback dittos from the 70s. It says 70s. Let's go with this. I love the way because you know what these jeans accentuated. So of course the main picture is the back. Does this have a picture of the front? Do we get a picture of the front? Come on. We want a picture of the front. Description. Are there more pictures in here somewhere? Chris needs to see what the front looks like. We All right, let's come back over here. That's right, no camel for you. Um, we're authentic 70s pre-owned. Let me take a look at these. This actually is kind of good because it's kind of flat and it's in a pattern. Uh, can we do this? So this actually kind of shows the way the jeans are. Oh, there's the back. Nope. Can I? God damn it. Let's open you over there. Those are fairly wide. Let's open you up over there. And I love not not gonna lie, I like the fact that there are only 5 belt loops. I did see a pair of snap button jeans. I'm gonna do snap button jeans because it's a little easier to rig up that way. Yeah, I wasn't thinking of doing it ripped because that really wasn't a 70s thing. And I'm going to go. I think I'm going to call this 70s. I haven't decided yet. 70s something. I had a groovy. I was thinking groovy. 70s groovy outfit. I don't think there was a good groovy outfit at Daz already, so I might go with that. So we'll start with this. This is kind of nice because it's laid out flat and it kind of gives me a feel for what the pattern should look like. So I can kind of see how these legs are kind of straight and then they flare a little bit towards the bottom. I'm going to make this like a normal pattern and then I'm just going to add the saddle. We'll just chop out a part for the saddle in it. So let's, and these are somewhat high-waisted. I have seen a few pictures of jeans in the 70s that were low-waisted, but for the most part, uh, jeans in the 70s and pants in the 80s were a bit more high-waisted. So we're going to try to line this up just under the belly button or so. So I think, yeah, let's get Marvy Designer opened up here. And you know what? Maybe I'm gonna go Google on screen two jeans sewing pattern again. Is Marvelous Designer doing something? There it is. We'll do that. As I normally do, I'm going to start with a Genesis 8 female or Genesis 9 female because I just find it a little easier to split to the Genesis 9 base and the Genesis 8 female using this shape for women. Um, you know what? I'm just going to kind of sketch this out. Actually, I'm going to try to see if I can find a jeans. Actually, let's say bell bottom jeans sewing pattern. Ooh, there's a digital one I can buy on Etsy for $1.87. Would be really cool if it was a saddleback. It's not. that would be asking too much. I'm just going to sneak over here. This is actually all I really need. Open image in new tab. So this is kind of what I need right here. And you know what? You know what? We can just bring this right in. So let me save this. Let's just take you, put you on the desktop here. What's in this thing called new folder? Nope, I don't want to use that. Hooters. There we go. You know what? I'm going to stick it over there. Um, Copy that. All right, let's do this. Let's add a background image. Let's do that. Let's go to here. Let's grab that right there. I should probably trim it, but I'll take care of that later. I am going to trim this image. Hold on. Open with. Where's my open with? I always have the hardest time finding open with because somebody thought it was a good idea to not have it near open. Open with Photoshop. We'll just do that. Let's try that again. I saw Photoshop always complaining about stuff. Oh, I can't find these plugins. It's important. Yeah, whatever. All right, I think we're done with that. Let me get rid of you. Can I just delete you? Can we just do this and pull that up? There we go. That's better. We'll scale that up. Maybe a little bit more. That's probably in the ballpark. Oops, damn it. I meant to say okay, and I think I canceled instead. Uh, where was it? Wasn't it right there? Okay, there we go. Dang it. Okay, all right, now we're ready to go. Let's start with the polygon. And I'm just going to kind of plop points in here. There's a little bit of a curve on that. We'll match that there. You know, I think I'll come from here to here. We'll smooth that out in a minute. And we'll kind of do the same thing over here. Are you not? Is good. Let's set this to the thing that I can see the thing with. The thing that says I'm somewhat transparent, semi-transparent. Is that what I'm? It's over here. I'm in the wrong one. Translucent surfaces. That's what I want. So we'll curve that out. We'll put a curve there. Can I add another curve here? I can't. I gotta do the. I gotta do it like this. Put a curve point there. Bring you back around through here. Take you through here. And that gets a curve through there. It's going to come in through there. We pull you back like that. I'm going to tweak those in a minute here. There's a little bit of curve on the bottoms just to get these. So freaking snappy. If I undo that, honestly, I don't need that curve. What am I doing? That's not. Yeah, you're supposed to bow out a little bit like this so that those corners are about at 90. That's 94. We'll try this again. Oh, that one's already not. Oh, you know what? Let me tweak this. Like so. Bring you back over here. I should probably do the same thing on this one, right? Bring you back over here. Okay, that says 741.8. Let me see, what do we got here? 732. You know what? 741.8. I'm going to push that out that way a little bit. That's a large difference to make up with just a change length 741.8, and that's okay there. Okay, we'll tweak you a little bit. Okay, I'm going to try to get these two to be about the same length. So that's 955.3. That's 955.3. Excellent. Man, I fell asleep. I might fall asleep again. I'm more tired than I think I was. That's sleep typing, isn't it? All right, let's tweak these a little bit. That's the wrong thing. Let's try this. Where am I at? 1, 4. That's pretty close. Dang it. Why do I got a point in there already? I'm watching those two numbers off on either side to be about the same. That's probably going to be as good as I get with that. So the idea is when I pull this out, we're looking to make those corners to be about 90. It's probably about as good as I'm going to get with that. So this is probably a good start. Let's, oh yeah, I got to smooth you out a little bit, don't I? We'll do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the saddle back out of this at some point. That's the plan. First, we'll kind of get this fitted on here. We're going to add a waistband at some point, and then we can start doing details. But anyhow, let's put you in the back. Let's turn gravity off. It's just a little easier to work with that way. Let's sew those and these. I'm going to pull you down a little bit. All right, and then let's Control D. We'll make the linked copies. We'll sew up the crotch. And then we'll see how this all goes together. Dang it. Let's move you over this way a little bit. Let's move you over that way a little bit. See if that improves the that's a little better. That's not too bad. I'm going to tweak these. I think I'm going to pull you up a little bit. That's a good fit back there, really. I'm going to see if we're a little too tight, and maybe we'll just give a little more room. And I'm kind of happy with the way those are belling out on the bottom. But you know, actually, that's a pretty decent looking fit. Add a little bit of, bring this up maybe a little bit more and add a little bit more curve to this or something maybe. Same thing with over here. Anyhow, let's take a look at the stress map. You know what? That's not too bad. What's the strain map? What's the difference? I think I am going to just make these a little wider. We need a little bit more movement here. We'll just grab those and we'll just kind of drag you up this way a little ways. And we'll just sim until it, you know, that's not too bad. I think that gave me the extra space that we want. Do kind of want it to be a little, I think I'm belling out too much though on the bottom, honestly. I think we're going to take that in just a little bit. Or maybe just a little bit longer. Yeah, I think I'm going to take a little bit of that bell out. So I'm just going to pull like 40 centimeters out of all of this. And we're going to kind of do that 40 centimeters or 40 millimeters at a time. Just 4 centimeters. So we're getting a little bit. Or maybe I'll just 1, 2. And 1, 2. And then 1, 2. And 1, 2. Yeah, I think I'm going to live with that. Okay, I'm going to put this down just a little bit further. I think they should just get right to the top of the foot, right? Right about in there, I think is good. They're drooping a little funny because I've got no gravity on right now. Okay, what I'm going to do is we're going to... Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to pull this down a little bit, and then we're going to put a waistband. I want to pull this down just a little bit. I want a waistband that's about 35. And I'm going to try to build a belt in here. So actually, I'm going to make a waistband that's about 45. I'm going to try to get a 35 millimeter belt set up in here. And then we'll start thinking about that. Looks good. I think I need just a little bit of a curve in here and a little bit of a curve right here. It's not moving. And I'm going to flatten. It's not moving. Oh, by the way, if anybody's interested in picking up Marvel's Designer, the Black Friday sale starts on Friday. Normally, it's like $280 for a yearly subscription. Black Friday sale will get it for $196. I don't have to renew until I think January or February, but I'm going to go ahead and jump on that. That'll save me like what, $84, right? It does pay for itself for what I do, so it makes sense. All right, are we good with that? I think I'm going to bring the waist down just a little further though. And then I'm going to try to get that waistband in here. And I'm getting just a little tight in here now. So I might pull that out just a little bit further. But not too far. Yo, it's Rod Shelley. How you doing, Rod? I'm starting a 70s outfit. We're making basically ditto jeans. I think my waist is a little tight. Do I just need to bring that down a little bit? Or my crotch, my crotch. Let's maybe take the crotch down just a hair. I think what I need to do is actually just make this a little sharper. We'll try that first. Freaking out mostly. I'm sorry, dude. Are your Bitcoin investments not working out? That's a little better. Now I think I'm going to take these down just a little bit. I'm about 95% of the long waited page 52 is done, but it's been a battle. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. What, do you just got too much stuff in the scene? That's a little better. How are we looking in the back? Back's looking fine. I probably should take a little bit out of. This will do two things. This will reduce this line, and this will give me a little bit more room. So if I just push that away. Yeah, I like that. Still a little tight in there, but that's okay. I'm gonna live with that. All right, let's put a waistband on here. That says 397.6. And what did I say? Am I going to do 50? I think I'll do 50. 397.6. 397.6. And over here, I'm going to say 50, and we'll see how that looks. Because I want to leave it, not too much stuffing all around. You got to start to, and then things up in the frames for the page. Oh no. I'm going to blame Mitch McConnell. I hope this works. That doesn't look right, but I'm going to trust the numbers. I think that looked right. Okay. Let's zip you on like so. I probably should put some curve in there, but honestly, this is usually the way people make waistbands. So we'll just dupe you. We'll sew up the back. I'm going to go ahead and sew up the front right now. Yeah, I'm going to curve that. Never mind. That's better. Or maybe I can just put a little elastic on and just maybe cheat it in that way. It's probably Mitch or that other guy that we don't talk about. Okay, let's do a little elastic like that. All right, I'm going to adjust that. Maybe we do 95. How are you looking? Maybe we do 90. I think I'm going to go with that. Yeah, I'm going to cheat it like that. He's going to come after you if you don't get this page done. Nobody's coming after you, Rod. You're your own worst enemy on this one. Unless you got somebody at Rendo who keeps bothering you. In which case you want me to take care of them. I know a guy. I know a guy. Here, let's quad optimize. We'll do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some little lines in here for the belt loops. Then I need to add a couple more lines in here for the belt. I want to do like a I'm trying to think. So here, let's do this and this, and we'll do an offset as an internal line, and we'll say 2 on that. And then we're going to offset as an internal line, and we're going to say 3 on those. So these are going to be the lines that I'm going to sew belt loops to. I think I need to cut and sew some of this stuff, though, to get it to work right. So you know what, and then I'm going to add, let's try this. You stupid. And then let's offset as an internal line. Let's say 5 on those. Let's say 8 on those. So I'm going to put little attachments on these that will hold the belt in place. So let's go ahead and start my belt. I'm going to extrude these to the pattern outline, because what I need a measurement right here. That says 24. Now I wanted a belt that was going to be a little bit larger than that. If I add 6 more to that, it's 30, and then I can bring, yeah. Oh, just give me a frickin' line already. 397.6. Okay. Let's do 397. Actually, I could probably do this as get away with 400. And that'll be 30. I'm going to say okay to that. And then what I need to do is cancel that. I need a couple of little lines in here. Offset as an internal line. 3. Say okay to that. Now I need really skinny little. Actually, I'm going to redo this. I'll make that 397 point whatever. 397.6. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it to size 397.6. We'll do that. And then 30. So it's a little bit wider than an inch on that belt. Okay, now I'm going to add a couple little internal lines here. Offset as an internal line. 3 is good. Okay, now I need a really couple of little thin pieces to sew this to that. And you I don't need anymore. You were just garbage. Garbage. I keep clicking and it keeps not going away. So let's make you 397.6, and you are going to be 3. I need 2 of these. I'm going to put that there. Put this right there. I'm going to make a copy of this right here. God damn it. I'm going to undo whatever I did there because I didn't like it. I don't know what I just did. I keep making copies on top of itself. It keeps running off to the side when I drag straight down. There we go. Okay, let's give you a layer. We'll say 10 on that. I can't believe I'm going to make another belt. What the hell is wrong with me? Let's say 5 on those. Okay, let's do some sewing now. So that's going to get sewn to that. That's going to get sewn to this one. This gets sewn to there. And then this gets sewn to here. I'm just going to freeze that for a second. And then we'll put the belt in. And then we're going to put loops on top of that. So that's going to be the belt. I'm actually going to have it so the belt can be undone. I managed to do that with the Letterman outfit. So I'm going to use the same techniques I used there to do this belt here. So I have these little strips in here I can get rid of or resize as I need, which kind of holds my fake belt in place, or I can get it loosened up. So that's looking good. This stuff is all not optimized anymore though, so let's fix that. Quad optimized. Okay, I'm gonna dupe the belt. Like so. And now we got that in there. So at some point, I'm going to sew the back of the belt together. We're going to merge the back of the belt. So what I need to do is I need to have this part over here kind of roll around into a little loop. And I need this to come up and over so that I can put a belt buckle in here from here to here. Anything else I need to do? I need to get the fly in here. So I think we'll work on the. Actually, let's cut the saddle out. We'll do that. Let's take a look at butts. I mean, the rear of jeans. So we're gonna try to. Where is that? That is about up in here, right? And then we're gonna make a nice curve, and then just draw a straight line to the end. We're totally not just checking out our ass. So let's do. I'm gonna start, and then do you just. And I'm kind of seeing. So I think I need to move that line over into here. Take a look at our. Yeah, that's about right. I think I'm going to take this point and run it down a bit. Actually, what I want to do is I should probably square this up and then round it out. Kind of like that. That's actually, it looks fine. You know what? This needs to be a 90, doesn't it? So let's do pattern outline. So and now I want to watch that, but I can't see it. So I have to just kind of eyeball it. So we kind of want that to be 90-ish. Then I'm going to put a curve in here. That's about right. Let's come over here. Smooth curve. We use the smooth curve. And I'm just going to drag that until it does that. And I think that's going to do the trick. And then I think, do I want that out a little farther maybe? Yeah, I think we'll push that out a little further. So you know what? We're going to undo the smooth curve. We'll redo that when I get this moved back out. Okay, right in there, and then I'll run the smooth curve again, and we'll push that so it almost runs all the way to there. And I think that's going to be good. Now we're just going to do some cutting and sewing. Can I just convert you to a curve point? Is that an option? Do you get funny? Nope, that looks fine. We like that. We're going to do a cut and sew on that. I'm going to give me a little bit of room. There's still something. Oh, it didn't go all the way. All right, we got to undo my cut and sew. I think that undid my cutting, so I got to extend this line to the pattern outlining. Then I think I can cut and sew properly. It's good. And what I'm going to do is we're going to put a trim line right in here. There through there, do an offset as an internal line. These are going to be those 5s that I like, those little 5mm. I'll do that. And same thing, we'll do, I probably, actually, should I do the, and then we can do the offset these. How far do I want these to go? She doesn't have hemmed pants. Let's find a version. That's like, I think I'm going to pull that into about 15. So we'll do those. So we're going to offset as an internal line on those. Say 15, maybe 25. Those will be the cuffs. I'm going to go ahead and cut and sew those. And you know what? I don't need you anymore. And that's going to be a cut and sew through here. Because I'm happy with that. These don't have back pockets, do they? Nope, they don't. Otherwise, they get in the way of the nice shape back there. I think they do have. Do these ones have front pockets? I think these ones. These don't have front pockets either, do they? Is that on this? Where did I get you from? That's got a elastic waist on it. That's, where did I find you? You were on Etsy, I think. No, I was looking for sewing patterns. This one here, is that the that's the Poshmark. Oh, there. Oh no, that doesn't have elastic on it. Those got these really wide straps. I like that. And it's only got. Now in my that is a snap. That is a snap. I am. How lucky am I? I'm going to be authentic when I put a snap on here. I was going to be lazy. And the zipper only comes up to the waistband. I'm going to have to remember that. It's an authentic ditto. This snaps over here, so we have to put the fly over on this side. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to do that right now. Let's start setting up the fly. Let's move you guys back. So the fly is going to come that way. Where is that? And it should be down into here. So I'm going to put a point in here. Did I not just put a split in there? I have no idea what I just did. There we go. That's better. Then we're gonna push this over, but I only need I only really need half of it because there's a part of the fly you actually will never see even when you undo the pants. That's my story and I'm sticking with it. So actually, let's do offset as an internal line, 25. I'm not going to extend that. I'm going to say okay on that. I'm going to offset out as a offset from the pattern outline. We're going to do that. What are we doing? 25. Kind of like that. Right angled corners. Does that fix anything? Unified corners. Nope. Default corner. It's probably okay. We'll probably go with that. So what I need to do, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to leave a line in here. So we're going to do this again. And we're going to tell it to create an internal line. Okay, am I? So I'm at that point. Oh, all right. So I'm at that point where I'm going to need to break the linked editing so that I can cut this off, and then we can get this to go underneath here. Also, I'm going to have to extend that out, all of these out by the same amount because they'll go under up here. I'm, and then that goes. All right, I see what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing now. I'm checking. I'm doing a jeans check to see how it's built down there. Um, yeah, so you got it. Okay, I think I got this. So I'm going to extend this out like this. Offset as a pattern outline, 25. I'm going to say okay on that. Is that linked? That is also linked edited. You know what? We're going to stop the linked editing on these. I'm probably going to regret this because now I have to probably do double the work, but remove linked editing. Actually, I'm going to back up. Oh, there we go. I'm going to remove linked editing here. And then I'm going to extend this out. Okay. Should be fine. And then we're going to take the linked editing off of this. I'm going to cut that. We're going to remove this. I'm going to add a couple little strips here to hold these together. Actually, I want to split between here and I want a little strip in here. So, ack. Offset as internal line, not 25, but 12. And I want you to go the other way. I'm going to say okay. And then what I want is I want to measure this. You going bedward? Hey, thanks for being here, Willie. It was good to see you, man. I know. What time is it over there? Is it like 2 in the morning? Uh, 2 a.m. Yep. All right. Sleep tight, Willie. Take care. We will catch you later. 145.7. 3. 145.7. Okay. I'm going to put you there. I wonder if I should have made that 2. I'm going to try 3. We'll see how 3 works out. And then what are these? 144.2. 3 and 144.2. So I need a line over in here. That's going to be 12. So that should be good. But you're not reversing direction on you. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these into here, and that's actually what's going to hold the fly together. I'm going to freeze these for just a second. I think I have to get rid of some sewing in here, don't I? I do not. I've already broken the sewing. So this should kind of fall apart. That's sewn through here. So I think we're going to get rid of that. All right, so this is all loose. Are you frozen or something? There we go. And actually, I think I want to put a little line in here so I can sew. What do I want to sew this to? Well, let's get this done first. And then I'll think about, I think I just need to extend this one. I think I just need to extend these up through here. Is what we're going to do. So you're 25. You're 25. Is that right? Well, that's that whole line. You were 12, so this is 13. So I think I just need an internal line in here. Like 13. I think that's 50. So I can just probably, we'll do this. I should do this in baby steps. So that, actually, I can't sew it that way. Escape, escape. That's going to get sewn to here. This gets sewn to here. I think that went a little apart. Let me try that again. I saw an end point on there. And I'm going to sew you this way. You know, it's not snapping. There we go. That's better. And then what I want to do is I want to sew this one. And these are what are going to hold the pants together. No, you went to the other side. Don't go to the other side. Escape. And you should equal that. Okay, this is going to get little issues lining up here. We'll see if we can get this to work, though. Let's unfreeze those. Let's do that. So the thing is, I want this on top. And right now it's not, it's underneath. So let's put a layer number in here. We'll say 5 for right now. So it does that. You know what? I think that's going to do the trick. And then when we do the undone versions, we can delete this geometry out later on. Okay, so now I want to extend these up through here. Or I just make, you know, it might be even easier just to make little parts. Or just extend these 50. I think if I do that, the sewing doesn't move right. Offset is internal, external. I want to offset as pattern outline. I think we want to say 50 on that. And we're going to leave that. So I'm going to say okay. And then I check my sewing, and my sewing is good. Okay, excellent. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So we'll do the same thing over here. And we'll say okay. And then I can take these and sew them into here. This part's easy because I know I want that one to go there. And I know I want that one to go there. And then I just have to add a line in here. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop that. Yeah, then I need a line here and a line here that I can sew these two, and then I have to figure out why it's acting weird. What is going on here? That's doing 50 to 0. 50 to 0? You didn't sew in right. Oh, I see what happened. I know what happened. Never mind. We're going to resew. Resew! Resew! Listen, when I select you and I hit delete, you go away, okay? Same thing with you. Okay, now we're going to try this. I'm going to drag this over so it lines up. It's a little easier to see what I'm doing. Okay, that to there. That to over here. And now I need to just, I think it's 12, well, 25, and then I'll put a 12 in. I think those are the numbers I need. So offset as an internal line. 25. Okay, we'll do that again. This time we'll say 12. 12. Okay. Now sew these into there. All right, let's see how that goes. There we go. That's what it's supposed to do. So I got a belt, and then it's gonna have to go over this button. Am I doing that the right way? I am doing that the right way. Okay. I thought I saw a picture of the snap, and it looked. There's a one of these pictures is flipped. That's all I gotta say. That is not that. That is in a mirror. That's what that is. So it does go on the other side. Can I flip my pattern? Let's see if I can just flip the whole pattern. Because now I have this on the wrong side because I was looking at a picture taken in a mirror. I'm realizing that's what it is. That's a selfie in the mirror, right? And this other one had it on the right side. It's women's jeans. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can find another picture of. Yeah, that one definitely has it flipped from what I've got. All right, let's Google Marvelous Designer flip pattern. Or can I just, is there an easy way to just to do that? Can we just select everything? And is there a flip pattern option? Flip horizontally. Let's see if this sorts itself out. You know, that flip horizontally really didn't do the trick. All right, we're going to do this in baby steps. You know, that waistline looks okay. I think I'm going to freeze that and see if we can get the rest of this stuff to kind of, or maybe we should just start flattening pattern pieces out. So this is looking okay. And of course I can't select everything with the marquee select because selection's a joke in this program. You know, you think you've drawn a box around something? I don't want you. But no. There it goes. Did you see that? Not selected. Still not selected. Finally selected. So let me try. I'm using. Oh, turn the strain map off. That gets in the way of our tools. Can I just control F? Why, Chris, why the hell should control F work? See right there? Reset 3D arrangement selected. Control F. There it goes. You're not lined up the right way. Do I have to flip all my normals? You know, I'm going to undo back past the flipping. Flip didn't do what I thought it was going to do. All right, let's Google. Yay, 5 panels done. Now just to add all the speech bubbles. And 52. Huzzah. Oh, 4 months late is better than 4 years. Okay. Marvelous designer. Flip entire pattern at once. Let's try that. Flipping patterns and arrangement points. Ooh, 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 ooh. I have an idea. Can I just do remove linked editing? Control D. Bring that over here. Okay, and now I can select the original and delete that. And I think I've got it. I've lost all my linked editing, but that's okay. I now have my button flies on the right side. Ha ha. I fooled it. I fooled it. I pulled the fast one on Marvelous Designer. So this is good. All right, now let's get the belt loops in here. And how wide are those belt loops? Those belt loops looked kind of wide, and I kind of was liking that. Those are looking normal-ish. But that's not the one I was working with. Here's the freakishly large belt loops that I want to work with. I'm thinking not an inch. Do I want to do? What if we do? And I'm just gonna sketch this plan out here. What if I do 15 and 50 and say okay to that? And then I want to sew this into here. That was a separation of about 3. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a whole lot of extra geometry on this. Actually, before we get going on this, let's come over here and optimize that. And over here, we'll just set this up for wireframe. This way if I've got anything that's, got triangles in it, I can kind of spot it a little easier as I go. I'm going to add a whole bunch of little geometry at increments of 1. Let's try that. So I'm going to offset internal line along a curve. If I say 49, it's a little wacky looking. It's a little wacky. But I might be able to do what I want it to do. I'm going to want to put a belt loop out about here. Let's touch. I can't unselect anything over there. Why? What are you doing to me? Put a belt loop there. No, I don't. I just want to. This is the downside of all of this. escape. Let's do this. I'm going to undo these, and we'll get something a little closer to. Maybe we'll just do 2.5s instead of 1s. I think I'll start like this, and then I'll add extra. I need to put a layer on here before I something in here. Where's the thing that says layer? There it is. I think 15 just to make sure it wants to stay on top. Okay, we're good. I'm not going to set this up. Oh, I sewed you onto the wrong one over here. I wanted to sew it onto the line below it. Right here. There we go. I'm going to just, I don't know, what if we do this by 2s? Along curve. I'm dialing this down till it gets close to 2, 2.5. Will do the trick, I think. And then just put a little sew there and there. Do a little sew there and there. I'm going to straighten that one up a little bit. And it's not too bad. So they're going to attach like that. And then it goes over the belt. I might need to stretch this out just a wee bit. And I might want to pull. We'll try that. And then what I think I'm going to do is I just manually adjust these kind of a little bit, kind of get them to flatten out. Is that's a little better. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing down here. I'm looking at the wrong, I don't know, maybe in there. That'll be fine. It gives me that little extra in there. Can I see, here's where that symmetry would come in nice. These were unlinked anyhow. What do I got? I still got a lot of time. 2 hours for a pair of jeans with a belt. And then I'm going to try to detail out the belt somewhat. And the buckle will come for blender. I think, is that where I want that, or do I want this out a little bit further, though? And then this is the tricky one, because I got to split it down the middle, right? And those should be sewn up. At some point, I'm actually just going to weld these two together, I think. Oh, you know what it is? I've got that elastic on there. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of elastic on these as well. That one and that one, to help flatten it out to what we're doing. I think I was using a ratio of like 90, right? Yeah, that helps that side. So I have to do it over here as well. There we go. So that the elastic on that is kind of the same as what's on that top edge. And it's helping fit it a little better. And I'm just going to sew those together. And at some point, I'm going to merge it so the belt is one long piece. All right, let's. I'm going to split the belt loop in half because I need to be able to go over this gap back here. Split. We'll just do a uniform split. We'll say okay on that. We'll do a G with this. We'll just drag you all the way through there. And we'll just add a trim point to the pattern outline like so. Excellent. So I'm going to kind of line up one right about out there. And then I need one that's going to go over like that. This one's easy. I can get that one in just by eyeballing it from here. That goes there. That goes there. Oh, I need to split those sewing lines here and here. So we'll put little splits on that. Uniform split so I can see the center of that one. And that one right there needs a uniform split on it as well. Right down the center. And I can sew you to there. Actually, I'm going to go the other way because you get sewn to that. And you can kind of get, you get to go into here. I'm going to sew this one in before we turn the simulation back on and these go flying like little mad fiends. No, 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 no. There we go. Nope. Yep. All right, now let's. It'll work its way out. I think when I get the other side sewn in, it'll be fine. It's kind of folded up under itself, I think is what's happened here. That goes there. That's there. That's there. That's there. 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 And there. All right, let's see if that. There we are. Yay. That's being a little wonky. What are you? Did I sew you on the wrong? I think I sewed you on the wrong one. I did. That was the problem. That one right there is in the wrong spot. Geez, the last page you posted was page 51 on May 28th. 6 months. I gotta get better. Yeah, well, do what you need to do, Rod. But if you do want to get these stories out, there we go. Fixed it. All right, I have a couple more of these to get sewn in. I think do I want to move you out a little bit further and probably move you over a little bit? I don't think it moved. I'm going to tweak these positions. If real life would give you a break. I know, wouldn't it be nice? I can't. You know what? I should do that. That's good. I think I'm going to move that over in there somewhere. So I think I'll start by moving this a little bit over. Not that that makes a big difference, but I don't know. I can kind of use it as a guide for lining all of these up. If I can, get those lines straight, tells me I'm pretty close. That one is a little crooked. I'm going to try that again. Okay, I like that. I think what I might do, no, I'm not. I have to, I'm going to duplicate these over though. Control D, pull that like that. So ideally they'll pop up and then I can kind of use that as a placement guide. So if I like touch that point, it tells me I kind of want to line up there. And now I've kind of lost it. think that was somewhere in about there. Pretty close. Pretty close. I'm going to adjust that one of those a little bit. Those look like they're way off too. You there. You could probably be a little bit more there. And you can probably be a little bit in there. All right, let me go set the other one up before it gets away. If I simulate it now, it's going to float off into the nether. And I'm using the wrong tool. There we go. There you are. Okay, I see my point. Oh, that's right. I can see it over there, can't I? I forgot I could see these points actually on the pattern in the 3D view. That is, not gonna lie, that's pretty convenient. Okay, with that, I should have the belt loops done. Okay, we're going to detail out the belt a little bit. I have to try to remember how belts go. So that needs to, this kind of needs to get sewn onto here. Then it has to kind of come up. And I gotta, you know what, I'm gonna put a little loopy here on this end. So are we linked edited still? I think we're still linked edited. So we're gonna remove the linked editing. If I can find, no wait, I got rid of the linked editing already. Yeah. Yeah, bye bye. Uh, let's see. I'm gonna run a bunch of little 1 millimeter lines in here and try to get you to loop around and under. So, or maybe we'll try twos. So we'll do offset as internal lines, and we're gonna say 2. And I'm just gonna kind of run that kind of like, maybe we'll start with that. Maybe we'll do that. I'm gonna say okay to that. And then you know, I'm gonna line you up so that you line up like that. I'm gonna put you here for a second. Okay, I'm gonna make sure you line up with that. And I want to line that up with that. Then I want to take these and I want to line them up right there. So, because I'm gonna edit this sewing just a little bit here. No, you're supposed to move. What the? Yeah, I know it doesn't line up. I just changed it. So let me move that. God damn it. I'm supposed to be able to grab that little endpoint and drag it. That's frustrating. Is it going to make me just do this? That is so annoying. There we go. That one's fine. That actually needs to be adjusted over here too, doesn't it? Although I don't know where you go. There we go. All right, I'm getting the hang of this now. All right. That was pretty violent. Now let me see if I can kind of roll this around into a... We're going to just put some folds on these. If I say 200, what does that do? It's going the wrong way. If I say 140, such as say 50. See, we're starting to get our little loop in there. We say 120. It doesn't like me. It's angry. It's angry at me. Damn it. All right, let's try this again. Right. Say 120 on that. Say 25 on that. Let's tweak this a little bit further. You know, maybe twos are just too close together. Was there a roll function? I vaguely recall something about that. Let me see how that works. No, yeah, I think there was, but I think it doesn't do this, if I remember correctly. What does that say? 30. Oh no, that's the length. Maybe baby steps. Let's try this again. If I get rid of you guys, can I do a? Jeebus. One of my shapes got janked up pretty bad. You know what? That's probably not helping things. There we go. That was my problem. It janked a shape. And now I think I can just tweak these a little bit more. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this in over here. Oops. I didn't want I didn't want Oh, my voice just went away for a second. I didn't want that last one. Let's try this. Let's try that. I'm getting there. And let's do this now. Okay, so it's kind of like that. I think I'm going to make that a little bit larger. So you know what? We're going to we'll use an old cut and sew right here. And then that way I can just take this and I'm going to space that out a little bit. And then we'll see if that helps. You're just not quite sewing in right, are you? Oh, you know what? I lost that sewing line, didn't I? Because that's what happens. I put a cut and sew in there, so I lost that. All right, let's try another stupid trick. I put a little pressure in there. Nope, that doesn't seem to be doing anything. Nope, that's not, I don't, nope, stop that, stop that. You know that, there we go. Something like that. Why are you not zooming in on what I want to zoom in on? Why do you hate me so? Why are you not folding properly? I think I need to add some folds on these edges here. No, 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 no. I don't know what you did. You added a point. I didn't want to add a point. I want to select that, and then I want to. Where's my fold? Where's my fold? So this one, I think I could say 240, right? Yeah, that kind of does that. Maybe, oh, did I type in? Let's try 240. 240. 4-0. I think that might do. Then maybe, can I maybe drag you? All right, that's part of the belt buckle. And honestly, I probably should put that a little bit over here, but we'll see. And this would have to come up and over and to here, so I would just pull that out. What do I got? 6 minutes. So I think I'm going to try to get that out, and then we'll probably call it a night there. So let's unfreeze you. I'm going to extend this out. Where are you? You're over here. So offset pattern outline. I don't know. Let's start with maybe 100. Let's say 125. I'll say okay on that. That's a little bit. That's actually not too bad. Maybe a little bit further in. I don't know. Where did you go? I'm going to do that. Let's put a split in here. I'll do a uniform split. Say okay. I'm going to take you guys, run you back a little bit like that. Come over here. We'll do the smooth curve thing. I'm paying attention to these numbers. I'm going to run that out to I got to zoom in. I can't get the level of precision I need from out here. So we're going to take that till it says about 10. And I'm now going to do the same thing over here. And then we'll put a little curve on the end of this. There we go. I'm going to cut and sew the end of this belt so I can assign a different layer to get that to pop up on front of that. So I'm just, and then this is just temporary. I'll just cut and sew that, and that way we can set this to be like layer something. Where's my layers? Layer 15. And that way it will want to come out on top of everything, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of little pieces and I'm going to tack that down with that. And I think that'll kind of do the trick. So let's I forget, what was that? Offset is an internal line, and I think that was maybe 3 and maybe just 1. And I'm going to say okay to that. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And then I just need 2 little pieces I'm just going to use to sew this down to that. And we're pretty close. I still have to trim it up, make sure all my geometry's right, re-weld some stuff. So I'm gonna, and then I'm gonna pull these back a little bit. I'm gonna finish getting the belt set up, and then we're gonna call it a day. So I need a couple of little teeny little pieces. I'm going to say 10 and 3. Kind of like that. And you're going to be layer 12, which is going to be between this and that, I think. And so I'm going to just put you, I'm going to start you in here. And then that needs to get sewn into here somewhere. Maybe I'll just do it over here. Oh no, I can't see. All right, it's good. I'll do another one here. That's what, and I'm going to add I need a belt loop on here, right? So we're going to put the belt loop somewhere about in there. Wherever we anchor these things down, we'll put it. So I still have to add a belt loop. That I'm not going to do. I'm going to just tweak the holding pieces back a little bit so I get a little more flux right in there. And that's going to be it for the day. These two right here. I'm going to just knock you guys back maybe 20. 1, 2, and then I have to adjust all the sewings that they're associated with. It's going to be kind of like, actually, I might want to pull those over just a bit. Right about there. And then and now I have to redo that sewing I just mucked up. That's okay. Now we know what we're doing. Ha! Ha ha! Like, yeah. All right, there we go. I'm going to leave it. I think I'm going to leave it here for the day. It is just a little past 9. I'm slowly getting my belt set up in here. This will be a belt that we can undo. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be tricky, though. I have to try to get a... There's supposed to be a snap. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I don't think I'm going to actually model a snap. I think I'll just stick one on as a texture because of the way it's just right under the belt. What else do I need to do? I need to just add a belt loop. Yeah, I'm just going to do that later. And I'm just basically going to sew it from here to here. Actually, I'm going to do that now. what the heck? So that tells me I need to make it a little bit more than 30. I'm going to make it 30, then we're going to add a little bit to each side. And then we're going to sew that in, and it needs to be 10. We're going to do 30 by 10. We'll do that to start with. 10, 30. Okay. cancel that. Switch you to quad optimized. Take you and extend you. Offset pattern outline. I'm going to say 6. I'm going to say 8. And leave that and say okay to that. And we'll do the same thing over here. Offset pattern outline 8. Okay. I'm going to add some extra lines in here. Internal along. And we're going to say 3 on that. Internal along something, something, something. Internal long curve. There we go. Same thing. Okay, now I just need to get that sewn in onto the belt. Wherever those lining up with those. Thank God I can see this sewing. So that's going to go right there. That's going to come down here. Okay, I need to give that a layer. I'm going to say 20 because it needs to sit on top of everything. Let's see how this goes. Boom. There we go. And that should... It's fighting a little bit. There, it should kind of do that. Right now, it's because of the weird layering. It's kind of getting me some strange fidgeting. There we go. It's going to look like that. Yay-o. Hit save. I haven't saved this yet. Oh, oogly boogly. Let's go to projects. I think I have a 70s folder. So, and thank you all for being here. Hey, if there's anybody still hanging out with the YouTube, I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. I'm not sure what this is going to be, but I think Far Out Outfit. Nope, maybe 70s Groovy Summer. Let's do File New. Folder. Still here. Rod's still here. Thanks, Rod. You're the man. 70s Groovy Summer. We'll call it that for now. I think I got too many R's and not enough O's. There, that's better. Let's do this. All right, Chris needs a whip file. Work in progress. There we go. And you're going to be 70s Groovy Summer. There we go. 70s Groovy Summer. So I think I'm good. I've got the major parts done. Actually, I got almost all the... So now I'm pretty much at the point where I just have to start marking up my trims, assigning my materials, converting it over to the other figures. I'm fairly happy with how these are looking. Thanks. I appreciate that, Rod. It looks like what I was dreaming of. And we have a belt. Look at that. We have a belt. We have a belt that we can unbuckle and use dynamically. It's a magic belt. Anyhow, yeah, thank you everybody on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Hey, Twitch, we're gonna go find somebody to raid. I will be back in 2 days on Thursday, 7 p.m. You couldn't do that? You haven't practiced, though. You know, a year or two ago, I probably wouldn't have been able to set this up. But I finally worked out a way to kind of get belts to work. So that, it takes a while for me to kind of brain how to do these things. Anywho, and you don't have the software. Yeah, that's another. I mean, you could get the software, but you're busy doing your comic book thing, man. Anyhow, YouTube is looking good. Where's my Twitch? Where's my Twitch? Who's on Twitch? I've got one viewer. That's probably you, Rod. Let me see if any of my art friends are on, and I'm going to go over and say hi to them. Infozar's on. Heck, you're having to relearn. I know. I get that problem too. If I don't use something regularly, it's almost like relearning it. I remember doing this 3 years ago. I don't remember how I did this 3 years ago, but I remember it vaguely. I'm gonna go say hi to my friend Rumikin. We're gonna do that. Oh, that was Hey, oh yeah, Thursday's Thanksgiving. I will be on Thanksgiving, so if you need a place to hang out, feel free to come by. I will be making turkey. I don't know if I'll do anything special on stream, but anyhow, let's do this. I'm gonna say hi to my good friend Rumikin. He's doing puzzles, maybe, not sure. He's doing words on stream right now, so we'll go over and hang out with him. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you on Thursday, Rod. And it's time to change the background almost for Christmas season. We'll do that on Saturday. Anywho, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm rating out. Hey, I got stuff at Daz. Buy my stuff. Hey, I have a Discord. Feel free to join. Hey, check out Charles. He's not here, but he's got a Discord. And always say hi to our good friend Rod Shelley. We also saw Willie and Leo in the house earlier too. Someday I might make Leo a command if he coughs up some links, and then we can give him that roaring tiger. You're opening 2 stores, but my shit. Anyhow, buy. That's right. Buy my stuff. My stuff. There you go. Yeah. All right, let's do this raid calls. If you can join the raid, that would be cool. Uh, there's if you're not a subscriber, if you are a super cool subscriber, you get to use the sub raid call. There is that, and then let's do this /raid, and let's go say hi to my friendly Rumikin, and he'll probably raid Jack, our good friend Invozar, afterwards. So you want to stick around for that if you can join the raid. All right, raid has been started. Thank you all for being here. If Yeah, and hopefully if you have a good rest of a Tuesday or Wednesday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. Hasta la vista, baby.